Welcome everybody to Nine's Corner. I'm Nine. It's nice to meet you, and if you're returning, welcome back. I am coming to you on my iPad today because when I went on my computer, the system I normally use, the program was glitchy, and I thought, no, I'm not going to let this get to me. I'm just going to go on my iPad and do the reading as I wanted to. So I thought, let's do a rapid fire of tarot questions. I have a bunch of questions here I wanted to get some answers to, and I thought these were the perfect questions to ask for almost like a snapshot of what's happening in these particular situations. So our first up will be looking at France. They are currently deciding on who's going to be the president of France, and it's down to the two front runners, which is Macron, who is the current president, and Le Pen, a right-winged competitor coming up. So let's have a look at Macron first. Macron, he got the Eight of Cups. He certainly was not expecting the numbers to be as close as what they were. I think he might have been a little bit lax. This is a positive card. You know, the outcome will be positive, but he might have to change direction. So there's going to be things he's going to have to look at. He's going to have to look at how much effort he's putting in because, you know, Le Pen's numbers were really good and surprisingly good. So right now, let's have a look and see what her card says. I'm actually nervous. Okay, so we've got the Two of Wands. Instinctually, I looked at that and thought if I was talking to her, I would say, I hope your health's okay, because it looks like there's two paths she's going to go down. She's not stable yet. She's not established yet. So is she going to win? Not yet. But this is like they're at the beginning of the plan. They're at the beginning of figuring out what works and what doesn't work and which path they're going to go. So even if she doesn't win, this is a win to her because she and her party are going to go forth. But I'd still be concerned about her health. For our next question, we're going to do a set of questions on Russia. Quick question answers. So, did Russia use chemical weapons? Did Russia use chemical weapons? Yes. Yes, they wanted to show their strength. If they can't show their strength by actually winning, they will destroy. There's this pattern with the history of Russia that they're poor winners and they're really poor losers. And if they can't show their strength by being man to man, then they will go and do something extraordinarily careless, as in using chemical warfare. So yes, they did. Will Putin go after Finland? Because Finland has been saying, hey, we want to be part of NATO. And I mean, that's poking the bear because Putin doesn't want NATO anywhere near him. That's why he's going after Ukraine. That's why he wants to stay in Ukraine and make sure he has ownership over parts of it, because as long as Ukraine is not a whole country, then they can't actually get into NATO. Like they're not going to take Ukraine in as long as they're having issues with another country taking over. So I find it disheartening that they would be pushing to get into NATO right now, because if I were them, I would be not trying to get Putin to notice me, and certainly not get it in his head, hey, we should go after them. You know? So, transformation, there has to be a new world order. There has to be major change. And in order for that to happen, there has to be some unfortunate pain and sacrifice that goes with it. So I would say not a smart move to be getting yourself ready in case, because I think Putin at this point is capable of anything, but I think change is coming, And this could be that Putin won't get the chance to do it because he's not going to make it. Or this could be a case of there's going to be a new world order. And in order for a new world, a new government to come into position, then that means there's got to be some change. All right. Next question. Putin says that he has a want and a plan for this to be over. The Ukraine war won because he's doing it to get rid of Nazis in Ukraine. And on May 9th, they celebrate their victory in the Second World War against Nazism. So he wants desperately to have news, i.e. he wants to be able to say he won the war. So I think he's going to really push to get a section so that he has something to say. And he's going to continue lying to the Russian people. But May 9th, 2022. So we got May, numerology speaking. We have got May, which is 5. So that is our number that we know anything can happen. We've got the 9th, which is the spiritual number of endings and beginnings. And then we have 6. And 6 is all about, are you going to take responsibility or are you going to become a tyrant? So these numbers are pretty strong numbers. So I just thought, let's pull a card and see, will Putin do anything on May 9th? We got the 2 of Swords. So with the 2 of Swords here, there is an unwillingness or an inability for Putin to understand the weight of this situation because emotionally, mentally, he's not stable. And this is delaying and waiting because he does not have his mind made up. But believe me, you can see the moon there. He's in a dangerous time. He's not thinking straight. Clarifier, we got the 5 of Swords, winning at all costs. So I think he doesn't know exactly what he's going to do, but there is a plan. It's like, depending on how he does in Ukraine, he's got a plan for that. If he doesn't do well in Ukraine, then you might see some revengeful things because he's not thinking straight. And this is thinking about wanting to take revenge on those you feel are disloyal. Let's ask, will Putin be in power will Putin be empowered by next year? Will Putin still be in power this time next year? Will Putin be in power this time next year? No. Loss. I'm very uncomfortable. Putin, it looks highly unlikely. And look at this card, guys. This is not a card of dying from natural causes. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Putin is done. Now we're going to move on to another annoying subject of Trump. Because I thought, let's have a look and see, what did Trump think of Ivanka and Jared having their January 6th meeting? What did he think of Donald Jr. getting caught with all those texts? And let's see what Trump thinks and feels about it. How does Trump feel about Ivanka and Jared? He's not happy, and he's going to judge them harshly. Oh my God. This is literally the make or break of their relationship, but he is not happy with them. not happy. He feels betrayed. And at this point, I'm not quite sure if he's holding judgment until he sees what happened, or if he's being fed a story. But it feels like he's judging them to the point where they might have to be careful about the sting of Donald Trump's revenge. How does he feel about Don Jr.? How does he feel about Don Jr.? Oh, I pulled 2 cards, so we'll look at both of them. How does he feel about Don Jr.? We've got the 10 of Wands and we've got the Ace of Wands. So on the one hand, he's like, that's my son. And I think he appreciates Donald Jr.'s siding with his father and taking his father's side. But at the same time, he's such a clown that anything he's given to do from Trump, he screws up. So he causes the weight of the world and pressure to be on Trump. And it's like, man, if he breaks, Trump's in trouble. But, he doesn't love his son the way he loves Ivanka. But man, if and when she turns on him, he's going to turn on her, Jared, their whole entire family. What's going to happen with Giuliani? What's going to happen with Giuliani? Because he's got called in and asked about getting passwords for his electronics. So what does this mean for Giuliani? What does that mean? They wanted to look at the information that is in there, and it's some dark information. Something not so great is going to come out from this. It's going to be even more to stack against him and Trump. So for my last question, I wanted to do an update on Summer Wells because the poor child is still missing after 10 months. As far as I know, her father's in jail. I think he was drinking and driving or something like that. His mother, or her mother, his wife, Candace. I was going to say Candy. But I think she does go by Candy in some ways. In some, like by names by friends or something. Something like that. I think she does call herself Candy. But supposedly she was supposed to show up in court to fight to get back her boys because her boys were taken from her. So it's not a good situation. But I thought, let's do an update on Summer Wells and see what's happening with her right now. Are they going to find her? Like, what's happening? Is there going to be any movement on it? God bless that poor little child. What this child must have gone through. With the 10 being here, I really hope and pray that there will soon be some news coming about her and her situation and, God willing, the recovery of her. I can't make the card look nicer or give a better vibe than what it does. I think we know what it's giving the impression of. Let's pull a card for the mom and dad and just see. Mom and dad. Let's look at Candace, mom first. Three of Swords, broken-hearted. She's upset. It's like there's 3 guilts that she holds, but her mind is fuzzy. The Dead. I don't like these cards because with the Mom, you're seeing almost like not being attached, not being that close lovey-dovey mom, that she didn't have the heart to be the mom. But I think the father overcompensated, and I think there was a little bit too much sharing with the dad and complete isolation from the mom. Okay, so that's our reading for today. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. If there's something you'd like to have me do a reading about, leave it down below. It can be about celebrity, it could be about politics, but it doesn't have to be. It could be about an old Hollywood story or a crime or anything of that nature. I'm here to do what interests us. So please feel free to leave a comment below. And as always, I have our unity candle right here lit for each and every one of us. And until the next time we chat, my friends, cheerio and take care.